Ruby doopy doo. Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay. Two sides?
Yeah.
What's this, French?
It could be. I don't know. Don't you do that?
No.
It's twice what for a second opinion.
Two insincere kisses are better than one?
Well, I didn't see anything insincerity in my kissing.
Everything about you is insincere.
I don't consider myself insincere.
I still haven't gotten over the insulting way you treated me last time, the cruel way you treated me.
I don't. What cruel way?
What cruel way? I should have used Viva.
I don't. But I think you invented that. I really do.
I do not lie.
I'm not saying you're lying.
I never lie.
I want a transcript of that conversation. I never said
You
it.
fucking said it.
I don't. I did
It was
not.
the most hurtful.
I would never say that.
It negated our whole relationship.
Well,
I should have used Viva. You know what? She would have never done this. She would have never spoken to you even. You were a big nobody. The best thing you ever did is preserve that film. It was an act of love. It's the only act of love that you ever did.
but I never said
That
it.
is the moment
I agree with
I
you.
fell out of love with you.
I don't know why you want to believe that.
I adored you.
I adored you too. You were the apple of my eye. Little strawberry.
That's
of my
why
eye.
you left me, abandoned me in Piazza Navona when we were both in Europe, while you picked up a 14-year-old gypsy girl with huge breasts
I don't
and
remember
went home
that.
and fucked her.
I don't remember that. What?
You just said it's not your life, it's mine.
No, I said it's not your film, it's my film.
You see? Mine. He doesn't say our film. Our film. He says my. What do you think I did in that film? What were my
What is it?
what's my importance in
Tinker
that
Time?
film? No, I want to know. Did
Yeah.
I write any of that film?
Absolutely.
Good. Did I costume any of that film?
Absolutely.
Good. Did I cast most of the film? 70?
Some of the film.
List the people that were in that film. Ondine, would he have done that without me?
Okay, you
Yeah.
cast most of the film.
Okay.
Okay, I admit, just for economy purposes.
Right, okay.
Cast, costume,
Writing.
writing.
Right.
What else? You remember anything else you did?
I was the lead actress, and I improvised most of the scenes.
Okay. Is that what you did?
If I think of more things, I'll tell you.
Okay. I directed and produced the film.
No, wait. A small portion of it I paid for.
I don't remember that. But anyway, all I'm saying is that I did something too.
Take 5.
I was getting it done. That's what I was doing. And I mean, everybody wanted to be in this film.
Oh, here? And where? Oh, what?
Ondine's in it. All these Andy Warhol people. Mary Woronov, Holly Woodlawn, Francisco Scavullo.
Uptight, big head up. That's it.
Ruby Lynn was my squeeze at the time.
That's it. Good. Open the mouth. Keep the mouth open. That's it. Give me another roll. That's it. That's fabulous.
It was a phenomenon, really, because it was a very ambitious-looking project. I was 22 years old. You know, I was really like a boy wonder.
Revenge, take 3, sound 30.
I mean, at that time when I was 22, it was great to have a film. When you're 58 with an unfinished film that you made when you were 22, that's not so great already. That's not a hustle, you know? That's too bad. That's uh-oh.
I said to him, and I think this is really true, I said, you know, I think you never got to be what you could have been, which is a really great filmmaker. Because he's very bright, he's talented, but he never did it because he was too afraid. And he's a mess, and he can't finish something because I think Because then what? He couldn't be a victim then. He'd have to live his life like anybody else. That's Robert's thing.
You know, she had a lot to do with the making of the film, but I would have to say that I pretty much can take the credit for not finishing the film. I would love to see this film finished. I would hate to see it not finished. The relationship I developed with this film was like the little shop of horrors. It was like it was gonna eat me up. It was more important than anything. And so if you're doing something that's more important than anything, what happens if nobody thinks it's important? Then you're really nowhere. Ship's late.
We're never going to get anybody checked in.
No, it's gonna be a mess today. There's so many people here that if you came back at like 3, the ship's supposed to sail at 4. You want, I mean, can I direct you towards a massage parlor or something? You know, I'm basically unemployable. And this is a job, you know? I mean, I get tips, you know? They pay me for my humor. Where's the stash? Okay, which one of the bags? Hey, what up? I tell these jokes, man, sometimes it goes on for a long time. I gotta think of a lot of stuff. That's hard work. Well, 2,000 people getting off, 2,000 people getting on, and all I do is entertain them. What do I do? Now you want to know too much. What do I do? You put me on the spot here.
Social director.
This is exactly what I do. I'm really happy when I get through the day and haven't fucked up too bad. Hey, Rudy! Who wants to wipe their poopers? Who wants to wipe your poopers? Cleanliness is next to dogliness. Oh, Rudy, look at that sweet little bunjina. And your baby. The poop it too. The you do it do it do. Do 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 do. One of the things I'd really like to get through is getting rid of my junk. I really feel sort of shackled by my crap. I don't know what it is. I got some kind of tumor that doesn't let me do that. I never walked away from the film. You know, I just never finished it. I haven't been looking for a push, but I found a push. A push found me. And so I took it.
When I first talked to Robert on the phone after 30 years, I said to him, "Do you still have that film?" And he said, "Yes, and it's killing me." So I said, "Let me have a crack at it," because I was coming into it fresh, you know. And from the perspective, like, it was a trip down memory lane for me. But I didn't have that whole loaded, you know, monkey on my back aspect of it.
The first time I met Robert, we were introduced at Max's because he was making a movie and a mutual friend of ours, Rayanne Rubinstein, introduced us because she said to Robert was trying to get Viva for his film. And so he said, I have an actor, I have the actress, because I was like a downtown star. I was the star of Off Broadway.
Their limbs became stiffened and up to the skies he threw his thoughts, and little birds flying there suddenly fell to the earth and were dead.
It was the most ambitious, impassioned, wild-looking young filmmaker meets the wild, flamboyant star of the theater of the ridiculous. And it's movie magic. And they were like the early 70s version of Romeo and Juliet on a 5-block strip, 2nd Avenue between 1st Street and 8th Street.
As soon as I met him, he stared at me. He like deep into my eyes. We didn't speak for hours. We just stared at each other. I said, this is incredible, because I was like having an orgasm just staring at him. And he said, let's go home. And I went home with him, and I lived with him for 5 years.
We hooked up, and then we just started planning stuff. You know, I was already planning to make this film when I met her, or a film.
We laughed all the time. You know, we used to act out old movies. We'd be always creating things.
I mean, we were always around art people, art stuff. And we were making money through art, and a lot through her father, and was very generous with her.
This was the generation of which I was a senior member at that time, generation of bohemians that wanted to sort of like replicate the bohemians of time past in a very sexualized, acting out, dope-ridden way.
New York was really interesting at that time, and we were in a certain scene there with the Maxes and the factory people. That was really interesting. Everybody was doing something. I don't think I know anybody that was doing nothing, you know, whereas now I know millions of people that are doing nothing, and it's not early retirement. It's just that they don't do anything.
When I grow up and become a mom, I know what I will do. I'll never hit my kids with a strap or beat them with a shoe. I'm surely growing weary of being beat upon. So don't you disagree with me. I show you how it's done.
But I think the film is, I think it's meant to be, this film. I think all the people that wouldn't return my call will. I'm just talking locally. I'm not talking about, you know. I'm not thinking I'm going to be famous, but amongst the scene, I think the people who had forgotten about me or didn't know I was there will know I'm here.
What's that expression? When things don't go right. What's the expression? What did I teach you? Bingo! The show must go on. Mary, I'd like you to do your monologue. Would you like to do your monologue?
I can't blame David. No. No more than you blame Leon. No. We knew what we were getting into. Yes. We walked into it with our eyes wide open. Yes. We can't blame them. No. Would you please give it a rest already with these yeses and nos? Give me some feedback here.
It's high time we grew up and stopped seeing married men.
I know. And when I just met Harry, too.
Harry? Who the hell is Harry?
All right, that was good. What do we want to sing? Isabel, we have to sing. What do you want to sing?
Oh,
Pick out something.
Plenty to say.
Well, let's sing a union song.
If the scouts have been the way, we're
Gonna roll him over there, gonna roll him over there, gonna roll him over there. If the scouts have been the way, we're gonna roll him over there, gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll, we're gonna roll, we're gonna roll the union on.
All right, I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right, Isabel always gets here on time. Lena gets here on time, right?
Yeah, if you're in the movies, I'll be with you hollering and screaming.
Thank you.
But remember, Jesus is always there with you.
Yes.
Hey, doggy. Hey, doggy. Okay. Well, we better get moving, huh? What do you think, baby? You're going to the lab. Every time I wanted to do something with the film, I'd have to carry around about 200 pounds of cans. I schlepped it from New York to Italy to Petaluma to Bolinas. All these years, man, I've been caretaking this film. Thanks a lot. Well, I remember everything about this film. I mean, I spent about 10 years looking at it on a moviola. I had names for all these scenes. There was the card game, there was the pimp, there was the pool scene, the beauty salon, or beauty parlor if you prefer, mirror bathroom, there was the doctor's office.
Put that down, it's not sterilized.
I was banking a lot on this film being, you know, it's all I had. It was really all I had. So you don't want something that's all you got to be anything less than fantastic. Because that's a reflection upon yourself. That's what people are going to think of you. You know, they're not going to say he made a shitty film if they don't like it. They're going to say the guy's an idiot. Come on, doggies.
Film fits in 2 shopping bags? That's amazing. I can't believe it. Remember when we went to Italy and we needed one of those huge luggage carts and I talked the customs out of detaining us? Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bowery Follies, Tuesday, take 2, sound 19.
Give me a little kiss, will ya, huh? What are you gonna miss, will ya, huh? Gosh, oh geez,
supposing you refuse. Gosh, show Gene, what have you got to lose? Give me a little squeeze, will ya, huh? And I know I won't feel blue. I wouldn't hurt you, baby, for anything in the world. But what's the little kiss between a fella and a girl? Give me a little kiss, will ya, huh? And I'll give it right back to you.
You know, I was thinking that I was destined for something great. Ruby Lynn had a shoot with Francisco Scavullo. She was doing a play called Heaven Grand in Amber Orbit at the time at La Mama, and Scavullo was photographing her. So I said, let's start now. I had just gotten the camera. I didn't have any ideas beyond that.
Yeah, that's it. And the mouth open. Good, Heaven. Good. That's good like that. Wait just a minute, Heaven. I'll be right back. Hello, baby. How are you?
Oh, my gosh.
I'll be back later. Stay a while. I'll be back, okay? Listen, I'll see you in a minute. Wait there, okay? I'll be back.
So I was at NYU, and Marty Scorsese was my teacher there. At that point, Marty was the person that really got me interested in cinema. So I sort of tried to put him in the position of the producer. That was my goal. It was a big favor to ask, but it didn't seem like such a big favor. It was like, you know, would you meet me for a coffee down at the Figaro or something? You know, because we were friends. After shooting Scavullo, I really had no idea where I was going. And then what I did was, we were at Max's one night, Ruby Lynn and I, and we were talking to this woman, and she was telling me about the house she lived in. She worked there. She was like the maid. The couple that owned the house were going away for the weekend. So we arranged for her to let us shoot there and live there for the weekend. I mean, we kind of stripped that house, man. We had taken stuff from here, from there, put it in here. We were sleeping in their beds. And the shoot went really, really well. And Marty was great, man. Marty was running around, do this, do that.
Up here? In the mirror of what?
Start the pan over there, and what you get is Marty's face.
This mirror here? In this mirror here you're talking about?
No, in that mirror. In the bottom part of that mirror. Then you
Bottom
get
part
the
of this
feet.
Yeah. Feet? Where do you get the face?
And it seemed to make perfect sense to me. I mean, I was following it, and I was having a great time.
Everybody was on speed, but except for me. This was good. He never let me take speed. Don't give her any.
Oh, Branconi, huh?
That's right.
Branconi macaroni. Hey, Mabel, 2 eggs with a
You
side of
shut your
Branconi.
goddamn mouth. That Branconi's on my mother's side of the family. You insult her. You insult that whole family.
She wouldn't know.
Get on that goddamn truck, you little bitch, and get dressed and get the hell out of here.
But he saw the level of insanity that was going on, and I think he got scared. You know, the self-preservation kicked in on Marty.
Mirror bathroom, take 17, sound 5.
There was a content issue going on because I didn't really have a script.
Oh, Heaven, where do you find these guys? He's so tacky. Robert, I wasn't submerged.
Go back down and do it again.
Okay, I'm gonna do it again.
Just keep on
What
rolling.
about the arrow that's falling off?
Tinkerbell, just keep rapping.
What about the arrow that's falling off?
Just say my arrow is falling off.
I was in control of the situation. I was really totally in control of the situation. I don't know what situation I was in control of, but I was totally in control of it.
When I was given the footage to look at, and I was given kind of a weekend to kind of look at it and decide whether I was going to take the job, and I didn't really have to look through all of it, but I kind of had my answer a couple of hours in, just thinking, well, this is just pretty. I mean, this is just, I wouldn't mind looking at this for a few months. Yeah, I mean, it kept me engaged, and All an editor can hope for is something pretty to look at for a while, until the decision-making process kicks in, and then it's a whole different agenda. But just having to watch 16 hours of something a few times to get a handle on it, you initially just want that to be good. It's fascinating to look at the material and all the difficulty of the material, of unsunk sound, of things without sound, of just what happens to material that was shot on physical film 35 years ago. I can see where other folks with a different background would run screaming. I probably watched all of the footage 2 or 3 times through.
Really?
Yeah, and made notes, and then on that third time through, I started just cutting out, just to get it to a manageable length.
Great.
So I think I've got it down to like maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of material. So I guess my first question would be the absolute most general one, which is there is there a world of the movie, either when you started shooting or since you've had time to look at it again? Is it easier for you to talk about like a big arc of the movie that you see, or just a concept behind it, or even if it's easier to just talk about themes?
I'd be interested to see how you're putting it together so it made sense to you.
Right.
You know, in the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be very interesting to me, to see how a person who's, you know, looking at it freshly, how it makes sense. Now, either whether, I don't think there's anything wrong with it being non-linear.
Well, I don't think there's a way for me to even cut what I have by itself.
Right.
To make like one clean story that you could follow from beginning to end. And I mean, my question then is there a fragmented story that I'm departing from, or do I not even concern myself with a story from day one?
Manhattan, don't let me down again, alone in this town again. There's nothing but blues and heartache.
Stars deserve the ultimate because they give the ultimate.
Hello.
Oh, we're in here.
Hi, Ruby. How are you?
Hi. Oh, this was garbage.
Here.
I got it. It's okay. You'll have to forgive me. I'm really a lay person in more ways than one.
I love it when you do potty mouth. I'll never wash those lips again. As a matter of fact, I haven't in about a month and a half.
I just want to slap you silly. They kept going. They're on speed, and I'm not. Oof, that's a Jean Harlow shot. That's good.
Ruby Lynn was born a star. She's a star. She dramatized almost everything. That just was her.
Ruby Lynn was this kind of epic figure who would swoop in from time to time to make my life magical.
My daughter wanted to be the star in whatever medium, and she starred in whatever medium she was in, even though it was a crummy medium. Off Broadway, she was the star.
And now here's the mistress of the rubber room, Miss Ruby.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Miss Ruby.
I told you I'll take your sandwich home.
No, you can have half of my half.
I can have half your half?
Because what I'm going to do is order another slice of bread. The sandwiches come this thick.
Oh, okay.
The half a shit was going this thick.
Okay, good. He's happy now. He's happy.
The film was being produced.
Exactly.
You never thought it would be put together?
I didn't know that much about it, but I knew it was an unfinished thing.
Oh, Dad, you remember they filmed at your office?
I don't remember that, no.
Dad, we filmed at your office.
I don't
Wait,
remember.
I'm going to remind you that Holly Woodlawn had her feet in the stirrups.
In the what?
In the stirrups.
I don't remember.
Holly Woodlawn.
It wasn't in Lynbrook.
You never had
In
a
Lynbrook.
patient like
It was
Holly
in the
Woodlawn.
Lynbrook office?
No, it was in the Rockville Center office.
Rockville Center office.
I was a little kid wearing the leaves in my hair and a tennis net around me.
Yeah, what was the tennis net about?
Robert's idea.
It was a water balloon.
It was a water ballet that was a little bit sloppy.
How did you get your friends to participate in it?
They loved it. They loved it.
Do you remember that you paid for some of it?
I paid for some of it.
You paid?
Thank you very much.
Do you have a small one for him?
Okay.
Small? I'll keep it. Okay.
The beginning of the shot is at the end of another. Well, the story developing around the main character is that this is her life and this is the way it's going to be and there's no way out. It's a huis clos. That's French for no exit. No matter what she does, no matter how much she annoys people, no matter how much she intrudes herself in people's lives, nothing is going to change.
Just leave. I'll call you when I need. And leave that pencil and pad here.
I think the most painful part of the editing process is looking at the material and realizing all the things you should have done that you haven't done. That would have been really easy to do if you had just thought of it before. Thank God we didn't lose the sound to this. Thank God, it was just driving crazy. I can't take it. God. Well, I've got two things going on here. I'm showing the people a bunch of stories about one person that are a little vaguely resolved. And at the same time, I have a variety show going on in case people don't like somehow we have to let them know that if they don't like the stories, they can stick around for the show. Right. You know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sing Roll a Silver Dollar for you. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Thank you.
Listen to me. Don't want to be like a silver dollar. Da-da-da-da-da. Boom, 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 boom. Do-do-do-do-do. Listen to me. That's classic, man. That's cold.
Half of him, maybe 40% of him wants to finish it, and then the 60% of him can't. I don't think it's like he knows that he can't finish anything. He doesn't know. He's just floundering around, you know. But I know that when we were together, I saw in him that he was going to be famous. He was going to be incredible.
I don't think I'll ever recover from Ellenville, or Ellenville will ever recover from me. You know, it was just the square peg in the round hole. Theoretically, it was really a great place to grow up in. But, you know, there was personality problems. You know, when you're in a small conservative town like this, anything you do, any whisper is a shout. You know, any shout is a Hezbollah. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing great. Did you want to walk by?
I just want to see what's going on.
Oh, okay. We're just making a movie.
About what?
About me. I used to live here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Have you been here a long time?
27 years or more, 30 years.
Yeah. My father was a doctor here, Feinberg.
My wife might know him.
Yeah. He's been out of here for, you know, maybe that long. Everybody thought I was either going to be great or nothing at all. They were right. It depends who you ask. And then here's my old house, 10 Shelley Drive, ranch style. What I remember about what they were saying about me is that you're a creep, you're a creep. You're a creep, Robert, you're a creep, you're a creep. But that was mostly my family that was saying that. I didn't really get any direction, you know, when I was a kid. I was headstrong, I guess, and I wanted to be an artist. You know, I guess I wanted to make movies, and I thought that was the greatest thing. I thought, man, that'd be great. You know, I didn't really think, I didn't plan it out very carefully. Yeah, I used to live here.
Robert's parents, Uncle Irv and Aunt Dorothy, that's how I knew them. Uncle Irv was a physician, a really good small-town physician, very calm, very smart, very generous. He took in eggs if they couldn't pay. And he was the one who got me to Cuba for my abortion when I was 19. How's that? When, you know, they weren't legal here. That's how much I hold Uncle Irv in high esteem. Dorothy, cha-cha-cha. She was large. She had big hips. She was a very flashy dresser. She had lots of high heels. She loved to dance. She loved to play cards. She was very pretty. And she and Irv were such a duo. They loved each other so much that Robert and Vikitza, known as Vicky then, they kind of got short shrift. They were both spoiled and ignored by the love affair of their parents.
I'm a little unhappy that I didn't have a chance to resolve things with my mother and to know her better, really. I remember when she beat me just because I was 4 years old and I ran after my grandfather's car in Miami Beach trying to follow him to meet my father for golf. And she beat the shit out of me when I got there alive. And this is for today, boom! And this is for tomorrow, boom! And this is for next week, boom!
When Robert's mother was dying, I didn't really know where he was. I knew he was in Brazil, and I knew there were drugs and...
I was on my own trip. I was far away from Ellenville at that point. I think out of that, I mean, I was in Italy for a year, just before she died. Exactly, that's where I was. I was in Italy for 1 year, because after I made the film, I went to Italy. The film was made in 1970. She died September 1971. I came back from Italy July 1971. To July, August, September, 2 months before she died.
Robert, he couldn't deal with it. Plus, he wasn't emotionally able to.
We deserted each other. That's, I mean, you know, we didn't. I mean, I was impossible to get. I wasn't willing to go, to give, you know, anything up in order to. I didn't understand how to have a relationship with my mother. And she didn't understand very well how to have a relationship with me either.
I got it from my mother who carries a long grudge. She said Dorothy was dying and he was stealing from her. He would come to the apartment, he would take things to feed his habit. He killed Dorothy, my mother, the vengeful woman said.
No. I never took money from my parents that they didn't know about. I mean, she had been sick for 10 years and I didn't know about it. I mean, that would have been nice, wouldn't it have? To have prepare someone for something that's coming up instead of it just happening and then saying, "Oh, where were you? You're fucked up. You're crazy." No. I mean, it really wasn't talked about. You have to take my word for it. I don't care what anybody ever says. They may have known, but I didn't know. And I don't care what they say. I didn't know. I had no, and I talked to my father. I said, I didn't know this was happening. He'd say, "Oh, come on." Like I said, our name is Feinberg. If we're Russian, how come we have a German name? He says, "Oh, come on, don't ask stupid questions." I would have liked to, man, I'm trying to be honest. Is that being shallow? Being honest? Maybe I just am shallow. Well, who's more shallow? Someone who's making a film about a shallow person or a shallow person? Mama, Papa, it was good to see you. If there's a DVD player up there, I hope you get to see the film, because I think I'm on top of it this time. Well.
I think I introduced Freudian slip, Robert to not cocaine. He knew cocaine, but I think I introduced him to heroin. Heroin? This is Robert. And he fell in love with that.
Robert was very strong director.
At one time, I called him a piece of shit. In my experience, he wasn't good company. The kind of company I would expect and want my daughter to be in.
I thought he might get further with the career he wanted.
Your mother.
I can't tell if he's in sync because his mouth's got that toothpick in it.
He's not.
No.
I mean, type like you. Look at the way you walk
Yeah, but listen, that's wonderful.
It's hard for me to watch this footage alone. I start to think about all the things that could have been from the past, you know. When we went to Europe, all the great directors wanted to work with Robert. You know. Antonioni, Bertolucci, you know, they all wanted to. In fact, Antonioni wanted to put me in his film, and Robert, you know, talked him out of it. He didn't want me to do anything with anybody but him. Bum.
Dee-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee. I bleed for the night. I bleed for the night.
I was really at my lowest in my life. Came very close to death. And I was shooting speedballs. And then I started to feel very sick. I had a high fever, and I said to my friend, he said, I think you better go to the hospital. I said, the only way you're getting me to the hospital is feet first on a stretcher. So he came back, sure enough, I was in a coma, and they had to operate on me. And gave me a mechanical heart valve called the St. Jude valve. And it ticks. You can hold the microphone up to it, you'll hear it. It sounds like a watch. You hear it?
The brightest chapter in her life was her meeting a guy and getting married. That no question about it.
Patrick and I met at a huge NA meeting. We were both heroin addicts. He saw me across the room and said, there's someone who has suffered as much as I have. 10 years into our marriage, he was diagnosed with HIV dementia. Patrick, you all right? Push. Pull me. Push me. Pull. Push. Hey, good. Pull, 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 pull. Push, 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 push. Do you want to get out of bed? I get up every day and I'm a caregiver. Look at that shirt. You know what kind of shirt that is? It's a Max's what? Max's? That's right, Kansas City. Yeah. And it has all these bands on it. It says 40th anniversary. And then Al, not Al Gore. Al, he's a musician. Al Cooper. You know him. He played with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Al. That's right. Al Cooper. People always say to me, well, how did you stick with him? I go, I don't know any other way. You know? I believe that God put me in Patrick's life because he knew I could take care of him. Right? Because I could kick. But the doctor said, oh, he's not going to last more than a couple of months. And that was 7 years ago. And I didn't listen. Love is not just about sexual attraction. Love is spiritual. It defies time, it defies disease, it defies everything. Yes.
Like you thought this shot of the guy drinking was in it. We looked through it. We spent an hour. It's not there. You've let it go.
Right.
Like, if you would have shot this last week, I promise you we'd still be looking for the shot.
Probably.
Because you wouldn't.
But not for more than 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Oh, I went to see the accountants today, and I heard some good news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the Academy, first of all.
All right, shut up.
And second of all, I know I have a list here. Marvin Soloway. Marvin Soloway.
I owned the laboratory that Robert started his film in 1970, and he was bringing me in these 100-foot rolls of Ektachrome to process. He used to run around in high boots, big baggy shirts, and look like he came from a vampire studio.
I'm Henry Edwards, and for better or for worse, I have been told I am in this movie.
And also you wrote a scene, the bathroom scene.
I didn't know that.
He did not.
Yes.
I helped write the bathroom scene.
Give her credit.
I
She's had a
wrote my own
pathetic
lines.
life, and she needs all the attention she
I
can
didn't.
get. Just, she says she wrote it.
My bathroom
Let her.
scene.
You know what I mean? I've had a past and I have a future. Give her a break.
What did he write?
See, let her
He
have
wasn't
credit.
in the bathtub
It's
with
so
me.
pathetic, heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
It's not unwatchable. You didn't see it.
Quite crazy. You know, it's a little bit beyond avant-garde. It's actually crazy. But it's funny.
I mean, a lot of the references are pretty subtle. Some of the references are so subtle that I don't even get them.
This was a hard-working early 70s thing. You have to put the film in, you had reels, you know what I mean? Schlepped equipment around, you had to break into people's apartments, set up lights, do you know what I mean? That was the period. This is an antique.
When you look at the film, you know who Robert is. In New York and Hollywood, Robert would be considered a Meshuggah. Sick mind. But it's great. I love him for that.
It's too long. It's too long. Can't hold my attention, and I'm dying to love it.
Right now, I don't think the length is the problem. I think we have to assemble it in a way that it has a beginning and an end.
I want it to be more entertaining, simply more entertaining.
Yeah, I'm interested in because I'm in it and because I look beautiful in it. How would you like to see footage of yourself when you were 19 years old? You know, and realize that you had something you never thought you had. You know, I never knew what I looked like. I always felt ugly. And I was beautiful. It makes me feel like my life wasn't, you know, all that wasn't wasted.
Often the work is the person and the person's the work. Your sense of self comes from the work. And if you can't get the work out, you feel you're no good.
We have to give it the old college try, work on it, and make it make sense. It could make sense. It's beautiful, and it could make sense.
I have no information at all. I asked for some. I know that Coach 21 is coming, but I don't have a number.
know, what I get from over there is Robert singing to the dogs, Robert talking in Portuguese very loud to whoever, and Robert sleeping at all kinds of days or night. And so I never know when I'm going to disturb you or not. And
But it
so,
doesn't matter to you anyway.
well, I don't like to disturb people. Robert got to Bolinas because of my husband. My husband recognized Robert as the wild, bright card in the family. And Robert would come to family gatherings a mess, but so smart and so funny. And my husband loved him. And Robert was kind of going down the tubes in Brazil. And he had this little baby daughter. And my husband said, Robert, you have to get out of there and you have to get up and fly right. Not that my husband flew that right, but he could see what wrong was. So Robert came to be here, not here, but in San Francisco. He drove a cab and he lived in an apartment, I don't know if he told you this, in which there were shifts. So that, you know, the guy would leave the bed and he would get in and then he would go to, and the guy would get in, that kind of stuff. And finally he found a shack in Bolinas. And then when one of these places came open, we invited him in. And I was kind of horrified because even though he's my cousin, he was gross because he's a tumbler with bad sexist jokes and he's very loud. And I just said, what are we doing?
I'll be there.
Right.
You know, I'll fix your printer if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean. I'm not the printer or the printer's son, but I'll fix your printer till the printer comes. He's such an odd jumble of grumpiness and self-deprecation, and underneath there's probably megalomania because it's always like that. The person who puts himself down the farthest has the biggest person inside to come out.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, if I only had a heart. Oh, if I only had a brain. You know, I really hadn't planned on having a child, to tell you the truth. It was sort of a surprise to me. Although, you know, if I had paid attention, I probably wouldn't have been so surprised. You know, I was drinking really good whiskey. And then I just stopped. When I came to the States, I did a kind of I figured it out on paper, you know, how much alcohol will it take me in the States to stay drunk? Because in Brazil, it's really cheap. And I knew a lot of people, it was very accessible. And here I started adding up, let me see, a bottle of rot gut is gonna cost me this and that. And after making the calculation, I very soon saw that it would be impossible for me to feed my daughter and drink at the same time.
I trust your financial executive.
This is for 2 weeks. What do you think it should be? You write a number.
2 weeks? I need like $200.
For 2 weeks?
Yeah, is that...
Huh?
Is that a lot?
Will that take you?
I don't know, I just don't like to be like stressing over money and shit.
Well, then get a job. That'll relax you.
That's true.
You know? I bet if you had a job, you'd start looking at this thing differently. You might get more interested in like what's happening with the money because you don't have to worry about it because you're not sweating.
No, I
for
am,
it.
dude. Yeah, I made an application to work at an erotic store for $8 an hour.
Well, there's
But then
a
I decided
career
against
choice.
it. I decided against it because there's probably weirdos. But I thought it would be nice because it's the graveyard shift, so I could do my homework.
An erotic store graveyard shift. I mean, what do you think the clientele is going to be like?
Well, weirdos, but the staff was really cool. They're all kids from SNC, so it was just
I don't
nice.
understand.
My dad is such an amazing person to me because like he's really creative and stuff and everything, but at the same time he's very pragmatic. He's really practical, you know what I mean? Like he's been around the block. He has experience. He knows like bad shit from good shit, and he knows when to like distinguish things getting out of hand and stuff. Because that's the thing about my dad is he'll make a joke and he'll be like, oh, when's your friend turning 18? Ha, ha, ha. But then the next second he'll be like, Doggy, did you make a dentist appointment to get your teeth cleaned? Which I still need to do, by the way.
Being in the apartment without him is very hard. So I feel better when I'm at the hospital. But I call the hospital just to see how he's doing. Because I don't want him to, I don't want him to leave without me there. I want to be there.
I came to New York because the film needs more work, and I wanted to put a narration in the film, and I wanted to use something. I wanted to make some major changes. You know, the first couple hours were fine, and then it seems that Patrick's coming home. You know, I already declared myself incapable of being able to find a place for myself here, and that if I did come, I'm on, you know, someone else has to arrange that. No, don't worry about anything. So, you. Hello.
He was very, they were giving him last rites. He survived, so now they don't know what to do with him, you know. People are like,
return to
what?
sender. See what I said? No jokes don't
This
work.
is why you can't stay at anybody's house. But
Oh.
don't you understand what I'm going through with my husband
Yes,
dying?
I do. I do, and I told you I do. What can I do?
What do I do? Yes, help me find you a place to stay.
I mean, I'm here to edit. I'm not here to find a place to stay. I'm really
do
not.
it for me, do it for me, do it for me. I'm the one that wants it edited. I'm the one that wants it to
I
look
want
good.
it edited too, but I don't want to be living on the
You
street
want it
editing
edited.
it.
It's your film. You have to edit it.
Oh, look, a pillowcase. Now that's going to be a lot more comfortable tonight. Here's the big moment.
And the Oscar goes to Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, good for Marty.
Martin Scorsese's road to the Oscars began in 1956 after he entered the seminary and then opted to channel his passions into film.
Oh, hi, Marty. I've been editing this film for 37 years. You want to take a look at it? What do you think? I've got it down to 9 hours now. This is my new director acceptance speech. Well, I'd like to thank the Academy. Ruby Lynn, one of the few in the film who's managed to stay alive. I'd like to thank my daughter. Without her, I would never have gotten this far either, because I'd still be probably lying drunk in a gutter someplace. That is beautiful, man.
Yeah, that'll work fine.
Yeah.
I can't fucking believe this guy talked me into doing a fucking full film score in like 7 days. Robert walks in and he starts hitting me with all these like demands and requests. It's just kind of like a bit of a pissing contest, you know, that it's my film and I'm the boss, and you know, I don't know if you can do what I need you to do kind of thing. It's just been a hustle. He's a hustle. He hustled me, he won.
Hello?
I woke up, I had a horrible migraine, so I'm running very late. Probably been an hour.
An hour?
And I woke up with a migraine, so there's nothing I can fucking do.
Do you understand? We're going to say more than we need. It's not 1-to-1, this. It's like 5-to-1. We say 5
What does it matter? You're getting someone else anyway.
Well, if you read the lines, then I won't.
Let me at least read what
No,
you said I
because
could read my stuff.
no, but I said if you read my stuff, you read your stuff.
This is
If
what
not,
I mean. That's emotional blackmail.
Well, you're saying
All
you
right,
won't
forget
read
it.
my stuff. Okay, fine.
Forget it.
Forget it. Cut.
This whole film, this whole process reminds me of just like a squabbling old like couple. Like, you know, they're sitting like, you know, at their cottage on the beach and they're just like arguing and bitching about shit that happened like, you know, 75 years ago.
You don't care what I think. You don't care what I want.
Oh, I certainly
Film
do.
isn't just about you.
I
And
certainly.
I wrote this film too, you know.
There is no writing credit for the narration. When actors do a film that's improvised, they don't get a writer.
You
they
don't
get
want
an
to give
actor
me credit for anything. That's basically
I want to give you credit for what you do. You're
I
an
wrote
actor.
these lines down, didn't I? Didn't I?
You know,
And then you threw them out,
Ruby,
didn't
I
you?
hate to say it, but you're interested in the credit. You're not interested in the final result.
Oh yeah, I am, and you're not.
No.
You're interested in sabotaging the final result.
Man, why are you complicating
Because you
things?
don't think
You know, we
I
should
can
be
do anything.
finished with this right
Wait a
now.
minute.
Just
do I
read
co-write
this
this
stuff.
or not?
Just
Am I co-writing it? You are a controlling bastard right now.
Well, you're controlling it by not reading it.
Because you don't use anything.
No, not because. You are controlling it.
I tell you what, I'll read it. Let's just do mine
Fine.
first.
Fine. That's
go.
fine with me. That's all I
Keith.
asked for.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They call me heaven. That's right.
Where we
That's-
got that beeping in it.
Yeah.
No, fuck. It's just, you know, I mean, it would seem to me, after all this time, man, that you just want to get it finished. To finish this film, you know, what I'd probably do is set up a mix for February 2012, color correction for June 2015. Hi, I'm showing my film here tonight. Is Justin here?
Hi, of her?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you get it done? Is it done? Is there any-
I haven't seen it.
I think we're going to Indian's thing. Like,
Hey, Joe. It's not centered.
It's all black though. I can't really see it. So
The titles are right in the middle.
You might say I majored in singing and minored in on the make. The University of the Night. They call me heaven. I'm a songbird. This is my cage. Once in a while, I fly out.
Maybe I should get a new wardrobe.
Rufus, he's kind of my agent. He looks like a pimp.
Man, you know, just shooting from the other side would have been great at that moment.
We'll make a big star out of it.
Up tight, on a big head up. That's it. Beautiful like that.
She's shining.
All right, shake your head. Shake it. Shake it good. That's
I'm
it.
sorry if you don't like the way I live, Kitty. That's the way
I don't like the way you live. I don't even like the way you think. I don't even like the way you lie on the floor. Look at you.
I don't care if you have to go there and get her yourself, but get her here.
I really wish I had heard the word cutaway before I made this film.
Don't you go.
It was never in.
With the Hudson, the Jag, what was it?
Philip, you're getting everything confused. Philip, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I mean, there haven't been a lot of walkouts. I've been at the door, so just a bunch of stuff up on the screen.
It's a sin to tell.
Really, the person who really got this on the road was Ruby Lynn, because this film was living in a chicken coop in California.
I think it's close. I mean, I think you did a great job of pulling it together, and I have a feeling you could pull it together just a drop more.
Strange.
No, so beautiful, very beautiful.
But beautiful.
The anger, the provocative, the strong characters, yeah, the butts colliding.
On many, many levels. Fantastic experience to go back and look at that world.
It was embarrassing.
I
Girls all
didn't see
trim their.
I didn't see
No,
it.
but girls all trim their bush now. You know, they trim
No,
their
no,
bush.
no. I would rather not discuss people's
Oh, my mother's
privates.
private.
She is the glory girl. She's our glory girl.
I think it's cool. He's dope.
Yeah, he's dope, dude.
I didn't think Robert appreciated me. Really, yeah, it moved me. But I still want story credits.
Now, I still have an unfinished film.
No, you don't.
Oh.
You have a more finished film.
Oh,
It's
I have a
almost
more
finished.
finished.
It's almost finished. I can. Do you want me to raise the money to finish?
It's a lot of money.
I can do it.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
can do it. I'm gonna do it.
If you want to raise the money, I'll
look at it as a
I'm
challenge.
willing to do anything for you, Ruby. You know, that's true. I mean, I know it would be very good for you.
It's yeah. It gives me a
They're always looking for an ingenue. I don't know if this film will ever be finished. You know, I hope so. It's just a question of money at this point. You know, the work that needs to be done on this movie is about 20 days of reshooting. And that's going to be hard to do. It's at the point where people that know what they're doing have to get on it. You know, people that know how to mix it have to mix it. People that know how to color correct need to color correct. That's what it needs in order for it to be finished. I'm not even thinking about moving on to the next thing. I'm just thinking about finishing the film. I wish I could make that clearer. I just want to finish the film. I really just want to finish the film and have it finished. I'm not attaching anything more to it. I have no expectations beyond finishing the film.
But it's too late to turn back. I thought that I'd lost you. Your gentle touch on my skin. Promise is broken, unravel the passion. It's too late for what might have been. Heaven above, well, we've bitten the apple. Inside our seeds of doubt. Heaven above in the sweet, sweet hereafter. Afraid that time has run out. But it's too late to turn back. I thought that I'd lost you.
If I do happen to die and I'm in an urn when the film gets finished, take the urn to the premiere and make sure it has a good seat.